The wait is over. It's time for the sequel. Time to provide some answers as well. Will Dublin bear testimony to the belief that favourites don't give underdogs a second chance? Or can this replay serve up another helping of the unexpected? Croke Park is packed. 82,000 plus people. It'll be Maurice Deegan who's in charge. He was in charge as well of the 2008 match between Tyrone and Kerry, and of course in 2012 when Donegal and Mayo locked horns in battle that afternoon. And changes already. Paul Flynn and Diarmuid Connolly look to have switched. It's Mayo who will be defending the goal away to our left. That's down at the Hill 16 end with their replacement goalkeeper Robbie Hennelly in for his third championship match of the year. Played in the Connacht Championship, then lost his place after that, after the defeat to Galway. Great anticipation, great excitement, great noise, and let's hope it's a great match as well. Dublin get first possession. Kevin McMenamin, who want to really put down a marker. That wasn't the best of starts for him. There's so much speculation about his place in the team, but he's in there. Tom Parsons, centre of the field here, alongside with Aidan O'Shea. Mayo under pressure. Dublin trying to turn the ball over. O'Shea's got it, trying to mount the first attack. Parsons in the clear. He got the opening point in the drawn match 2 weeks ago. Closed down, tries to escape the clutches of the challengers, and eventually hits it rather poorly and misdirects that one.
Yeah, bad wide that time from Tom Parsons. Lovely pass from Aidan O'Shea to put Parsons into the clear. Unfortunately from him, misdirected a kick that was very, very easy.
Straight away there's an injury concern for a Dublin player. I think it's Paul Flynn, and there's also concern here about Lee Keegan. Keegan, who's scheduled to pick up Diarmuid Connolly as per usual, and if Diarmuid Connolly goes into full forward, well, that would really stretch the defensive resources of Mayo. Keegan has played at full back before. At the moment there's a concern, as I say, about Paul Flynn. Back up on his feet again, hasn't had the greatest of seasons, but this man has so much experience behind him.
Yeah, one of the things that was noticeable there, I think their knees collided actually as they went through that tackle, but Dublin have executed two very, very hard tackles already.
Quick kick out taken by Dublin as they build away down there with Mick Fitzsimons, the cooler player. Infield as far as Philly McMahon, hoping to get forward a little bit more, which could be really threatening from a Mayo point of view. He's getting forward here, lays it off well. It's McCarthy, James McCarthy, kicking it in towards Hill 16. Well, what a start that would have been for him. So disappointed to have got that black card so early in the drawn match.
Yeah, again, no pressure on McCarthy that time. Two men running for him, didn't give them to him, took on the responsibility, but a poor kick.
Robbie Hennelly, one of the reasons he's in there is because of his kick-outs. I have to say David Clark really only missed one the last day, and that was the one that ended up with a point for Diarmuid Connolly. On this occasion there was some holding, the referee's blown his whistle. It's got to be a free out for Mayo. No scores in the opening 2 minutes. Both sides trying to just come to the tempo of the game once again here, reacquaint themselves with Croke Park. Seamie O'Shea up here into the corner towards Jason Doherty. He was pushed. Free kick for Mayo. Doherty planning to take it. A couple of runs being made, one of them in particular by Colin Boyle, not spotted. On instead as far as Aidan O'Shea taking on Cian O'Sullivan, hoping to give him a very testing and busy afternoon here at Croke Park. Andy Moran, always lively, real leader of this attack. Cooper after him. Ball still gets in there towards Cillian O'Connor, inside towards Diarmuid O'Connor instead, this time his brother. And O'Connor has the ball wrestled from him by John Small. Played so well in the drawn match. Back here as far as Kevin McMenamin. That ball in there, still retained somehow by Paddy Andrews, wearing number 17 today. Here's Diarmuid Connolly, all the way down towards Kevin McMenamin, looking to get a really good start in this game, going into three players. Referee allows an advantage. It's a good advantage. What will it produce in the end? It's going to produce a free kick, because Paul Flynn was wrestled around there, exchanging glances and elbows and shoulders with Tom Parsons.
Yeah, there's so much more enthusiasm today from Dublin, so much more intensity in their game, very hard tackling, and they're going right through the Mayo tackles this time. They were passive the last day by comparison. Today you can see much greater zip in their play.
Well, it's going to be a free kick then for Dean Rock, and it's a relatively simple one for him. He'll be very, very pleased to get this one this near to goal. 4 minutes in, and an opportunity to put Dublin in front. Makes no mistake. Good start by Rock, good start by Dublin.
Yeah, and overall both sides at the moment are really going at it hammer and tongs. Dublin are settling that little bit better.
Big kick out into the middle of the park, and it's won there by Brian Fenton, touching it down as far as Kieran Kilkenny. Back in towards Fenton again. Who'll be marking him, you would wonder, after his very influential game 2 weeks ago. It's a great kick out there by Donny Bohan. Nicely on as far as Jason Doherty. Pursued here by James McCarthy. Gets it under control, hits it. The goalkeeper's got to come and collect this one. Takes it in well. Back in as far as Paul Flynn. All the way across towards Cian O'Sullivan, unmarked, nobody near him, able to measure this one down as far as Kieran Kilkenny. Gets there ahead of Kevin McLaughlin, takes off, looks up, kicks it well inside here, taken in by Dean Rock, looking for the second point. What a good start this is. 2 in a row for Rock, 2 in a row for Dublin. They've made the perfect start.
Absolutely beautiful football from Dublin. Good transition of the ball. Kilkenny, wonderful crossfield ball. And there's a third kick-out lost by Mayo.
It was a kick-out towards Tom Parsons, and there were 2 players on him, and one of them now, Kevin McMenamin, able to make Mayo pay for that. 3 in a row. Great start. Kevin McMenamin getting on the scoreboard when he failed to do so in the draw match here on Sunday week last.
There's a confident kick if I ever saw one. Just watch again this replay. Rock gets the ball under no pressure whatsoever, and a very good score for a second point.
This time it is Lee Keegan who retains possession inside his own 13-metre line. A very nervous and uncertain start made by Mayo, not helped by those kickouts. And Robbie Hennelly already under pressure. The big changes that the Mayo management made, bringing him in there in place of David Clark. But I think everybody knew that Dublin were prepared to try and take on those kickouts, go and pressurise the kick as much as possible. That they've done. And it's McMenamin again, looking down there towards Kieran Kilkenny, getting a touch on it, Rocks inside, and able to fist this one over. It's 4 for Dublin. It's the dream start, and Rock's got 3.
Well, they're running amok at the moment, they're Dublin, playing great football, no pussyfooting around with the ball, direct ball into the forward line, and making you so economical in their use of the ball.
Diarmuid O'Connor from that kick out. They need to get motoring, they need to get a score on the board pretty quickly. Taking on a couple of Dublin backs, one of them John Small, looking to try and lay it off, but not been given any room whatsoever. Diarmuid Connolly was back helping out. They really squeezed them for space, almost smothered them in there. This time getting across as far as Donny Bohan. Back into the centre here, kicked in the end by Paddy Durkin, and it's Paddy Durkin who puts it over the bar and gets Mayo on the board after nearly 7 minutes of play.
Well, Mayo badly needed that score. Paddy Durkin drifting up, took a nice ball from, I think it was Donny Vaughan, and a very good point. But the pressure being exerted by Dublin is textbook at the moment.
Youngest player on the field kicked that point, and this time it's John Small who could be in trouble with Andy Moran in that particular challenge. It'll be well worth having a look at that. Is the referee going to take any action? Have a look again here.
Yeah, he loses possession here. Again, holds his leg that time and pulls him down.
Very definite.
Looked to me a black card situation, but Maurice Egan sees it otherwise, and again Maurice Egan has to make an immediate call on this.
I wonder, did he see it, Martin? I wonder, did he? Because the first little part of that, he fell over, and then when Moran was on the ground, you could see his hand reaching out and catching him.
Yes, I think he blew maybe for the first part of it, but there's no doubt about it. There was a follow-up action that did pull back his leg. Had that been the case, what he gave the foul for, it was a black card offence.
Well, Mayo have given Dublin a 4-point start, and now they begin to try and eat into that. They've got one back, and now it's Cillian O'Connor's turn. From in front of goal, no difficulty whatsoever. So now it's 4-2.
4-2, and again that score came from a position where Stephen Cluxon's kick-out was well and truly pressurised, and Cillian O'Connor gets the point from the free.
Dublin able to go short. Mayo didn't really put on sufficient pressure there. Comes out to James McCarthy. They're attacking in waves, laying it off once again to a very confident-looking Kevin McMenamin. McCarthy back again. Fenton this time, dodging inside. Very elegant player. Laid off beautifully to Dean Rock. Kilkenny then involved. Towards Fenton it came. Little over-intricate, but it might still work out. Kevin McMenamin right on the end line, looking to try and recycle this, trying to dodge inside Kevin McLaughlin, succeeds in that task. The referee says no foul, and that's under hit in the end by Kieran Kilkenny. Didn't have the legs. That's a poor kick out again. but they get away with it this time. Donny Vaughan out here towards Aidan O'Shea, looking to try and get into this match. Several of his colleagues likewise.
Yeah, he's been very tightly marked by Cian O'Sullivan. O'Sullivan normally sweeps across the line. This time he's going one-on-one on Aidan O'Shea, much more than the last time.
O'Shea hoping to have a major bearing on today's game. They retain it. Tom Parsons again, slow and measured. O'Shea once more, laid off towards the team captain. Kicking in here, it's 1 against 2. Can Andy Moran get this one? He can. Somehow managed to get his hands on that one beyond Johnny Cooper, then lost it, and Mick Fitzsimons is in there. Aidan O'Shea applying some pressure, and it requires Cian O'Sullivan's intervention, helped out in the end by Philly McMahon to leisurely pass this one across as far as Paul Mannion. Mannion striding forward, Diarmuid O'Connor after him. Poor kick, kicks it as far as Durkin, youngest player on the field. Gives it back to Seamie O'Shea. Back in as far as Tom Parsons this time, the Charlestown player. 4-2 after Mayo made a wretched start, and Dublin were at their very best and flowing in the opening 5-6 minutes. Andy Moran trying to slow it down, trying to bring a measure of control into Mayo's play. Kicked forward, the referee has blown his whistle, and he's got to bring the play back.
Yeah, he called for the free that time on Andy Moran. Andy Moran was fouled. Referee gave advantage, no advantage accrued, therefore the free comes in. But Mayo have settled into this game. Just watch it here. Moran has been fouled definitely. When the advantage didn't come, Maurice Deegan decides to give the free in.
Well, this is going to be taken once again by Cillian O'Connor. That's an interesting duel in there, Andy Moran against Johnny Cooper.
Very much so, Gerard. One of the things at the moment, like Mayo haven't so far tapped into the controlled fury we saw the last day, whereas Dublin in contrast have found their mojo and found a level of intensity that we did not see the first game out.
There's been a lot of mojo in Mayo apparently, and they'll be hoping to see it a little bit later on. Here comes Cillian O'Connor, who's so adept at kicking out of his hands. Some free takers like to put it on the deck and have a go, but he's equally confident in himself from the hands, from the ground. And this is a good 40 metres out, not the easiest. Breeze, if it is blowing, is from right to left as he gets into it, kicks it brilliantly. That's a wonderful kick. He's got 2, Mayo have got another, and now it's a 1-point game after a horrible start made by the Westerners. Really found the range well. From the kick out, Dublin go long. It's held onto by Paul Flynn. That's the old tactic that used to be seen in the past. Cluxton down as far as Flynn. They've been varying that throughout this year. Cooper going forward, losing it. Aidan O'Shea in there, reaching in. And Aidan O'Shea winning it back. Delivering it forward as far as Tom Parsons. On then as far as Seamie O'Shea, the older of the two O'Sheas, starting today. Of course, there's a third in the squad as well. Beautifully in as far as Andy Moran. There's a chance of putting this one over. He succeeds, and the teams are level. 12 minutes in. What a recovery by Mayo.
What a recovery by Mayo. What a score. Lovely composure and poise by Andy Moran that time. Dummies on one side, gives it on the other. Great response from Mayo. Started all with a very good turnover by Aidan O'Shea up at the other side of the field.
It's already quite peculiar in many respects. Dublin got the first 4 points, and then Mayo got the next 4. Dublin seemed to be able to go at 100 miles an hour and then take the foot off the pedal and relax and leave the opposition into the game. It could be fatal. Paul Flynn, all the way down beautifully here towards Mannion. Good control. Leading the attack, laying it off to John Small. Scored a lovely point here on Sunday week last. Back in again, under pressure. Too much pressure. Again, too involved, too intricate. And eventually McLaughlin kicks it away into space. Parsons lets it run in over his head, but running in there as well, James McCarthy going in there to win possession. The referee blows his whistle, saw the foul by Parsons.
Yeah, loose pass that time out of the defence, but wonderful interceptor must be set by Brendan Harrison.
And this time there's a run for possession as Paddy Andrews going forward. As he was going forward, so too was Paddy Durkin, tracking him. They tangled, foul and free kick.
Well, credit to Mayo, like at the beginning, such a poor start, but they weren't consumed by panic. They recovered their poise very, very quickly. The response has been excellent, calm and measured, you know, you'd have to say. But now again, Dublin had the opportunity to go ahead.
Well, Dean Rock has certainly made a very, very good start to this match. He got 3 of their 4 points. Remember, he missed a lot of frees in original game. It was a rotten day for free takers. The ball was slippery, the ground was very, very sticky. But he started well here, from just outside the D, confidently struck and beautifully put over the bar. And Dublin are back in front of this All-Ireland final replay once again.
Yeah, we just have to watch the restart this time. See can Rob Henley find one of his own players at the beginning. Maybe nerves or whatever it was, but they certainly weren't finding their intended targets.
Well, he's going long, not exactly playing the percentages. It's 50-50. There was a jersey pull, and it was by one of the Dublin players on Tom Parsons. Free kick awarded. Well, that was interesting. A variation in the kick-outs, going very, very long. It was fisted on, as you saw in the end, by Diarmuid O'Connor. But there was a jersey pull, so hence this free kick, taken by Keegan. Held onto by Aidan O'Shea. His marker is Philly McMahon, as was the case the last day. Colin Boyle nips in, two men after him, and one of them was Connolly. Didn't quite get the block, didn't need to, because Boyle was wayward with that. And that is the second wide by Mayo in the opening half.
A little bit reckless that time. Boyle is one of those guys, maybe not noted for his point scoring, ought to have given it into one of his full forwards.
Paul Flynn kicks it long, but gives it away, straight to Paddy Durkin. Mayo counter-attack. Shamie O'Shea, beautiful ball forward. Diarmuid O'Connor pinning this one in towards Andy Moran, well defended by Johnny Cooper. That's really good full-back play. Gives it off as far as Fenton, and then the ball is carried forward with a lot of style and a lot of elegance in the way in which they play. Andrews all the way down to McMillivan. Will try and jink inside, although very much favours the left. Back in as far as Kieran Kilkenny. Bounces at McLaughlin just in front of him, looking for a support player. It's Brian Fenton. Kilkenny there available, offering himself as an option. Fenton in two minds. Finally, it is Kilkenny. Still trying to lay this ball off. Gets a lot of possessions. That's a great pass into Small. Got free. Suddenly he's marked. Challenged strongly. And in the end, the referee has decided that Shamie O'Shea is guilty of pushing him. Shamie can't believe it.
Yeah, just watch it this time. Shamie O'Shea catches him by the jersey, gives away the free, but the Mayo covering at the moment is excellent. Paddy Durkin has intercepted a few very, very dangerous attacks. That time Shamie O'Shea, that little bit over anxious, but does concede the free, gives Rock another opportunity.
4 for Rock so far. That makes it a goal and 53 points already in this year's championship. He is the top scorer in the country. And he goes again and nails another one. He's got 5. What a really good start for him, and what a really good first half by Dublin. 6-4.
6-4, and some people were kind of the opinion that this might be a game more noted for its crudity than skill, but we've had a very, very good opening quarter.
Donny Vaughan. And they're hoping that today's win in the AFL down in Melbourne by Western Bulldogs, winning the title there for the first time in 62 years, will be an omen for them. Mayo hoping to try and win Sam, as you know, for the first time in 65 years. Aidan O'Shea hoping to get his hands on the trophy later on. He's done well against Cian O'Sullivan. He lays it off here. Keegan! Goal! Lee Keegan! 18 minutes are gone. It's his 4th ever championship goal. What a corker that was. Aidan O'Shea set it up for him, and it was ruthlessly struck into the back of Stephen Cluxton's net. And it's Mayo who take the lead by 1-4 to Dublin's 6 points.
Magnificent goal by Mayo. They had jettisoned a lot of their defensive play. That time Aidan O'Shea, who has had a very good start, got the ball, held it up until the right moment on the overlap. Keegan coming in, drilled a beautiful ball into the corner of the net. He got forward that time, completely blindsided Diarmuid Connolly, but finished it ruthlessly. That's a great response from Mayo. Well,
as you can see, there is deep concern now on the medical personnel in Dublin about Johnny Cooper. Kieran O'Reilly, the physio, and Dr. Kieran O'Malley, the doctor, in there attending to him. This was some finish, dispatched clinically into the bottom corner. And it's been said that if Mayo are to win the All-Ireland, they're going to need goals. Well, they've got one here, and they have retaken the lead.
They've got one that time, and in fairness, the belt that Johnny Cooper got that time came after the ball went into the net, so the referee may have a word with one of the Mayo forwards as a consequence of that.
Well, there's been some first half so far. There was so much talk in the past week about this Lee Keegan versus Diarmuid Connolly tussle. The beginning of January, Lee Keegan got a present of a pair of football boots from Diarmuid Connolly, sent in the post from Dublin, and said, you know what, we'll probably be meeting later on.
And the pair of them have been tattooed into one another, must be said, over the last while, but that's a fabulous goal from Keegan.
That is Johnny Cooper, happily recovered. Lost possession, however. Mayo have turned the ball over. The free kick has been taken too quickly. The referee wants to have some words. So far, Maurice Deegan has done his best to let the game flow. There was just one incident earlier on where there was a possible black card for John Small, which will be a debating point. Johnny Cooper has got a black card. Oh, it's a huge loss for Dublin.
That's a huge call. And in his last 7 games, Maurice Deegan has issued 48 yellows, 8 blacks and 4 reds, and here's another black card again. Just watch it again here. Oh, that's where the legs... He pulled, I think, Donald Vaughan's legs that time. That's a hard enough call.
Well, it's one of the 5 in the rule, the black card rule, which was introduced 3 years ago. So Johnny Cooper has made way, and David Byrne is the one who's going to be coming in. Davy Byrne, a disconsolate Johnny Cooper goes off, hoping the others now can do it for him and win this All-Ireland.
Well, for such an influential player to depart after 20 minutes is a massive, massive, massive blow to Dublin.
It is, because he was doing a marking job on Andy Moran. He was controlling that defence. In the draw match, you could argue that Johnny Cooper was the best defender for Dublin. Right now, they need plenty of defenders because Diarmuid O'Connor is advancing with some purpose. Back as far as Tom Parsons. Here's Colin Boyle. Well, they're greatly lifted by the score of that goal a few moments ago here. Cillian O'Connor back in as far as Parsons. Parsons still. Nick Fitzsimon's trying to get a hand in there. Back it comes once more to Andy Moran. Moran looking across, spotting a couple of players in there. That's a 50-50 ball, which Dublin, with weighted numbers eventually, get that ball away through Kilkenny. Now out to Cian O'Sullivan. O'Sullivan laying it off as far as Brian Fenton. Fenton all the way down here. Picked up well. Rock laying it off, then it's Kieran Kilkenny. Fenton once more. Big influence as ever in the middle of the park here. Diarmuid Connolly chipping it up. Yet to see the best of Diarmuid Connolly in this match. Cian O'Sullivan. Once more it's Kieran Kilkenny. Gets his hands on the ball an awful lot. It's how he uses it after that that's so important, of course. Has an eye for a good pass. Beautifully in here to Kevin McMenamin. Just a point between the teams. Dublin trailing. McMenamin moving forward there with great purpose and drawing the foul.
Drawing the foul, and that time the Dublin crowd are baying. Likewise this time for a black card. McMenamin goes through Kevin McLaughlin that time, and he is pulled back. There is no doubt about it. Maurice Deegan is having a word, I think, instead though with Diarmuid O'Connor. Kevin McLaughlin, I think, can consider himself quite lucky in that case. I
don't think there was a deliberate pull-down attempt. I think that's how the referee will have read it.
Well, that's fair enough.
No black card.
Yeah, that's fair enough. A referee will err on the side of caution if he deems it not deliberate.
Dean Rock's going to take this. He's got 5 so far. And he's really in form. And the teams are level again. Level for the second time. In what's turning out to be a pulsating All-Ireland final once more.
An absolute cracker so far, Ger. Wonderful opening to the game. No menace, it must be said, from both sides in terms of negativity.
Jim Gavin rarely stands up, as you know. Normally sits down, but he's on his feet at the moment. Has decisions to make, changes to make. Right now, his team under pressure. Colin Boyle, teams level. Lee Keegan, by the way, out of shot, was on the ground looking across at the referee, or the linesman on this near side. Linesman didn't see anything. On it goes to Aidan O'Shea, trying to sell a dummy here against Philly McMahon. Again, looking up. Weight of numbers, too many Dubs defenders back in there. Andy Moran has to hold it, wait for the reinforcements to come. The goal scorer, Lee Keegan, has come back to Moran. Teasing ball in there, padded away there by Davy Byrne, the man who's just come in for the black carded Johnny Cooper. Racing onto this one and going down on it is Cian O'Sullivan. Hots up a little bit here. It's got to be a free kick for Dublin. 23 minutes in. 7 points to 1-4. Dublin advance once again, and it's Davy Byrne hardly have expected to come in this quickly. Would have been greatly disappointed, I'm sure, to have lost his place in the team, but he's in there, and so too is Kevin McManaman, making strides, kicking it long, might be kept in play by Andrews, goes chasing, McLaughlin goes after him, Andrews wins the race, umpire has a right good look at it, it's in play still, and Mayo steal it and win it back, and it's back out as far as Andy Moran, never went out of play. The umpire had a right good look at that. All the way back up.
And when Andy Moran goes back, Aidan O'Shea goes into full forward. That seems to be a tactic that Mayo are employing at the moment.
Donny Vaughan, where's number 3? Players anywhere but that. Brendan Harrison did such a good job the last day. That's a poor half pass, however. Mayo back under pressure again here. McManaman so involved, so much more evident in this game. Paul Flynn bounces here, and on goes Kieran Kilkenny. Lays it off as far as Paul Mannion. Can be a major factor in this game if Dublin are to win. Trying to win back-to-back All-Irelands. Hasn't been done by Dublin since 1977. Andrews against Durkin. Recycled all the way back here as far as Paul Mannion. They've slowed it down a little bit. Trying to make every attack count at this stage. Sudden injection of pace then. Back towards John Small again. Looking up at the target. Having a go, but it's gone well and truly away to the right-hand side. Won't make the highlights of the year, but he's playing his part. 7 points to 1-4, 25 minutes in.
Yeah, fabulous defending by Mayo, but Kevin McLaughlin in particular, and Shemi O'Shea getting back into very good defensive positions as well. And at the moment they are putting the Dublin attack under pressure all the time, and apart from that early onslaught by Dublin, they're finding it difficult to penetrate Mayo at the moment.
Jason Doherty finding Colin Boyle, picking out Aidan O'Shea. Getting away from Cian O'Sullivan time and again, getting his hands on the ball. Likewise, Donny Vaughan back in here as far as Keegan. Love to get another score, but not with this one. That one has gone off, and it's wide number 3 for Mayo in this first half.
Yes, and the little duel in that scenario we're having between Connolly and Keegan. Keegan is coming out top at the moment.
And Keegan has outscored Connolly in recent matches in the championship, which is very interesting. It should be the other way around. Poor kick out that time by Stephen Cluxton.
Yes, I think it's 4 points to 3 in their last 5 encounters from play. Keegan won up. In fact, the goal today puts him 4 points up.
Certainly does. That was flapped at somewhat by Davy Byrne. Needs some help. Gets it from Philly McMahon. Goes back, makes certain. Byrne again. Looking out to see where the loose player is. That is Cian O'Sullivan. Again, put under pressure. The sweeper who loved to play that almost libero role, as they call it in certain other sports. Nobody marking him, but today put under pressure, and that's interesting because the pressure is coming from Killian O'Connor in particular. Brian Fenton, likewise under pressure from Jason Doherty. Remember, he was given largely a free role in the draw match. Mannion picks it up, goes forward, nobody on him. Nearest defender is Shemi O'Shea. Goes after him. Loose pass, McLaughlin intercepts. Sloppy by Dublin. Still level, 7 points to 1-4. Doherty has a quick look up to see where Aidan O'Shea was going, a little bit lazy to get to that one, and in came Mick Fitzsimons. Great intervention that time by the cooler cornerback. Out to Kevin McManaman. McManaman goes, and where he goes, you can be certain his marker, Diarmuid O'Connor, will go as well. Back as far as Philly McMahon. And when he's allowed to go forward, you know that he can spell danger, even though he's quarterback. Got a goal and 2 in last year's replayed match against Mayo in the All-Ireland semi-final. McManaman has a good record against Mayo. Back out here as far as Kieran Kilkenny, and in the end the referee sees nothing coming from that, so he's got to call back the play and award the free into Dublin.
And so far it must be the 2 players that are playing particularly well for Mayo in a defensive situation are Kevin McLaughlin and Shemi O'Shea. O'Shea was criticised quite a bit the last day for giving away ball in the second half, but his defensive positioning so far today has been immaculate, and McLaughlin has intercepted an awful lot of attacks and then initiated very good counter-attacks.
Well, they're obviously, Martin, conceding too many free kicks through indiscipline, and they're being punished emphatically by Dean Rock. Can he do so again here? He's got 6 points, you can make it 7. He's very much on song. He's kicking confidently. He's taking on the pressure as well. And in fairness, today, some of those kicks are relatively straightforward by his very high standards. Dubs back in front again. One black card against one of their players. In case you joined us late, that's Johnny Cooper, sent off for a black card about 10 minutes ago. Real collision here of bodies. And I think it's Paddy Durkin who went down. Since the last score, Mayo have not scored for 11.5 minutes now at this stage. That's a bit worrying and concerning. And since that goal, in fact, that goal by Lee Keegan after 18 minutes.
Yeah, that's a hard collision that time. Donald Vaughan is going up for it. James McCarthy comes in hard for the ball, collides with Vaughan, and I think Vaughan is in a bit of trouble after that.
Yeah, it's Vaughan who is certainly feeling the effects. Still receiving some attention there from the team doctor, Sean Moffat.
Yes, but there was nothing malicious whatsoever about that. Both players going in hard for the ball. Vaughan, unfortunately, from a Mayo point of view, came out on the worst side of it.
This is a brilliant goal. This was a super score, and Aidan O'Shea played a huge part in it, and it was brilliantly finished by Lee Keegan. What about that for a score?
Great score, great finish, but the timing of the pass and the actual execution are top drawer.
Well, the physio Martin McIntyre is down there as well, along with Sean Moffat, the doctor, attending still to Donny Vaughan, and he would be a big loss were he forced out. Remember in the two semi-finals last year in the All-Ireland, he went off injured in one and he lasted about a half an hour in the other one, had a shoulder problem, and it greatly affected him, and they felt his loss. Right now I think it might be a question of concussion.
It looks to be a concussion issue, and Sean Moffat will always err on the side of caution when it comes to something like that. Although Donny Vaughan himself seems okay at the moment, he will be a big loss because not only he's named a full-back, but there is no doubt about it, he's been excellent as an attacker as well.
Well, that really was a hefty challenge there with James McCarthy. Nothing malicious, as you said, Martin. By the way, mention of full-back. The full-back right now is Lee Keegan, and he's up against the full-forward, who is Diarmuid Connolly. And there's nobody else anywhere near them. But right now, following the ball, it's Colin Boyle. 45 metres out from the Dublin goal, still going, and then his arm was pulled back, and it's going to be a free in. And then Brian Fenton needlessly showed a little bit of petulance, went after Colin Boyle and got him in the back.
I think it was the first one, the push in the back that referee gave the free for, and now in fact he's needlessly booking, I think, Brian Fenton.
Well, we were talking about the indiscipline at the other end, which results in Dean Rock getting lots and lots of free kicks, and Dublin can't afford to be this silly either. It's a yellow card, as you say, for Brian Fenton, and it's going to be a free kick, and Cillian O'Connor has already pointed 2 of his kicks, ready to take a third. Remember, just a point between them, so here's an opportunity to level up the game for Mayo. 24-year-old from Ballintubber. He got 5 points from 6 shots last time they met, and this time he's kicked the third, and he's kicked the teams level once again. It's an intriguing All-Ireland final. The weather has improved, a little bit of sunshine now where we had rain at the very beginning of the match, and the forecast for the rest of the game is pretty good, I believe, weather-wise.
I fully agree with you on that, Ger. Wonderful game, great interplay between both sets of players, and some fabulous football, defending in particular by Mayo. Kevin McLaughlin once again is on the ball.
Dashing forward to collect it. Has a quick look around. 2 men against him. Able to give it off to Paddy Durkin, and then as far as Diarmuid O'Connor. Looks up, kicks it into the corner, asking an awful lot of Aidan O'Shea. Well, he's saying that he tangled with Cian O'Sullivan, that O'Sullivan is responsible. Let's see whether there was a deliberate trip here.
No, he pulled Aidan O'Shea back that time. You just see him restraining him by the arm, pulling him back, going for a ball, an unnecessary free to concede because the ball was going into the corner. He'd be very disappointed with himself for that. But good work off the ball. Aidan O'Shea is playing much better today than he played the first day. Much more involved in the game. He'll be very happy, in fact, with the assist that he had for that first goal, or for the only goal of the game so far. Linesman
there, Sean Herson from Tyrone, just indicating to Cillian O'Connor exactly where he's to take this free from. So he goes short, inside towards Andy Ball, and once again, Nick Fitzsimons gets in there to try and intercept that one. Mayo still. Aidan O'Shea, lovely turn. Look at the number of defenders around him. Loads and loads of Dublin blue shirts. Back out as far as Andy Moran. Having to go through 1, 2. Cian O'Sullivan tried to keep him in there, pen him back as far as Tom Parsons has come, takes off once again. Another phase of this attack by Mayo. Will it produce a shot at the end? That's the big question. Aidan O'Shea looking to try and set up a scoring opportunity, maybe for Kevin McLaughlin. He didn't see Dean Rock coming in his blind side, wasn't looking in his rear view mirror, and away in the end comes James McCarthy. Again, great pressure on the ball there, this time by Paul Flynn, and down went the Mayo man, who is Tom Parsons. Free kick against him.
Well, both teams today have released the handbrake, but some of the tackling from both sides has been exceptional, and the tackling for the most part has been tackling on the ball, textbook stuff.
So is there to be a lead point for one of these teams heading in towards half-time, which is not too terribly far away at this stage? Diarmuid Connolly would love to score, having a go. The crowd on Hill 16 love it. He's got that point, nailing a beauty. That time winning his duel against Lee Keegan and putting it over.
Inspirational score that time. Connolly got the ball, another wayward kick out.
It's shocking stuff, awful kick out, and once again Mayo being made to pay for it, and Diarmuid Connolly is furious about something that happened there, bringing it to the referee's attention, feeling there should have been a card issued against one of the Mayo team. The jersey tug, the referee is telling the nearest Mayo player, Paddy Durkin, and the end result will be a free kick from just about 30 metres out. Look at what happened here. Oh, really? Not giving the defender really much of a chance of containing that one. Another horrible kick out by Robbie Hennelly. I'm not too sure that this switch of goalkeepers is necessarily working out for Mayo.
Well, it certainly hasn't worked out in the context of short kickouts, and in fact the first three long kickouts went to Dublin players as well. The fact that Robbie has been out of the team for the last 6 games, probably not as sharp as he should be, but the gamble by Stephen Rochford so far hasn't worked out.
Well, the player being called aside now, Lee Keegan, and he's a bit concerned, to put it mildly. Goal scorer, and he's got a black card, and he is gone. He was clearly involved in a tussle there, possibly with Diarmuid Connolly. The result, a black card. Both sides have suffered that fate now, and we're into stoppage time at the end of the first half. Mayo a point behind at this stage, but it'll probably be level in just a moment.
Well, that's the two best defenders gone from either side. Johnny Cooper on Dublin's side, now Lee Keegan gone. Massive blow to Dublin, or to Mayo. The fact now that Diarmuid Connolly has been freed from his nemesis probably gives him an awful lot more freedom. Well,
another change being made, and number 19 is coming on here, and that is going to be Stephen Cohen. So a chance for Dublin to enhance their current position, and it is Dean Rock who kicks it over the bar. He's got 8 points in an exemplary first half of free taking. Silly stuff. This is the reason why. This is the reason the black card was given, and Lee Keegan all over Diarmuid Connolly, deemed to have dragged him down intentionally or deliberately, and the referee took the necessary action. So both sides have seen black cards given to 2 of their key defenders. First it was Johnny Cooper, and then goalscorer Lee Keegan. Well, a chance to draw breath as we're into injury time. 4 minutes of stoppage time now being played. And it's one of those games where you never know what's going to happen next. All the way up here as far as Jason Doherty, trying to get away from the confines of James McCarthy's tackling there. Back to Durkin, back into the safe hands of Tom Parsons. Once again it comes. Now Diarmuid O'Connor, shrugging aside Paul Mannion. Fumbled there by Aidan O'Shea. They're trying to keep it away from Kieran Kilkenny. It's Colin Boyle. Can Mayo get the last score before the half-time break? Andy Moran may take on that responsibility, or give it as far as Shamie O'Shea, taking on Paul Flynn. Flynn unable to stay with him, and the ball got loose and ran away from Shamie O'Shea. Goes back, picks it up right on the end line, and the referee has blown his whistle. Saw the foul by Paul Flynn, and it's going to be a free in. It has a chance to eat into the Dublin 2-point lead. There may well be one between them in a matter of moments.
That's sharp officiating that time. Yes, I think he made a slight restraint on the jersey that time, but at second glance it looked a soft enough free in.
And it's going to be taken by Cillian O'Connor. Once again, not the best of angles for a right-footed kicker, but he's been wonderful with all of these so far, and he illustrates that once more time. 4 points from frees by Cillian O'Connor, so it's a 1-point game. heading close to the break. Another 40 seconds or so still to go. Once again, an eventful opening half in the All-Ireland final at Croke Park. Brian Fenton, one of those yellow carded, back as far as James McCarthy. In here as far as Kieran Kilkenny to try to attack at pace, but in doing so, they turn the ball over to Donny Vaughan, and it's away through Aidan O'Shea. Holding onto the ball somehow, almost run away from him. Has a quick look up, there's only one forward inside the 45-metre line, and that is Andy Moran. And in the end, the referee has awarded a free kick, and there's another concern here as it hots up quite considerably, and there may well be another incident resulting in another card in just a moment. At the moment, all hell is breaking loose down here, and we hope that common sense will prevail.
Yeah, two separate areas here. I think Johnny Small got involved with Cillian O'Connor in the middle of the field. Others piled in, but at the same time, further back, there was another incident, but I think the one in the middle of the field was more serious. I think it involved Cillian O'Connor and Johnny Small.
This is it here again, coming up. That was the challenge there. Not that particular one.
Not that particular one, no. It was further back. It was off camera, actually, that the incident occurred. Linesman saw it. I think David Coldrick saw it. I wouldn't be surprised if there are further cards resulting from this.
So already 2 black cards issued. Now, what did David Coldrick see, and what's his view of it? Let's have another go.
Yeah, Connolly bumps into Donald Vaughan that time, and both Connolly and Donald Vaughan get involved with one another. I think that's what the referee saw, but there was another incident middle of the field that was more serious than that. And
that was involving John Small, as far as I can recall.
John Small and Cillian O'Connor, it was, yeah. There they are there, you can see them there in the middle. They start at one another, and O'Connor's on the bottom here, but others then started to pile in.
Well, certainly Cillian O'Connor is madly incensed, but what's the referee going to do?
Well, I'm not sure what he's going to do. When the first incident he saw was the one between Dermot Connolly and Donald Vaughan. Now, what he decided to do with that, I don't know. He was distracted then by the second incident involving Cillian O'Connor and Johnny Small.
Again, the referee and his 2 linesmen just going through exactly what happened, the sequence of events. Sean Herson seems to be the one who has had the best view of it. And they're calling for cards. They're expecting to see some action taken by Maurice Deegan at the end of all of this. And what's he going to do? Who's he going to call in first, I wonder?
He's going to call in Dermot Connolly, I think. Dermot Connolly and Donald Vaughan are going to get involved here. Others are pointing out that maybe, wait to see at the other side of the field, I think they're pointing to Cillian O'Connor. I'm not quite sure what the referee is doing, because the linesman is in. Maurice Deegan is now speaking to Donald Vaughan.
Yeah, Donald Vaughan there alongside him, and Dermot Connolly must be fearing the worst, because he was sent off by Maurice Deegan in the All-Ireland semi-final against Donegal back in 2011. You may remember he was involved in an incident that didn't look all that terribly serious, and I think he escaped ultimate punishment. He did play in the follow-up game. So now it's a yellow and a yellow, and is that the end of that, or will John Small? And he now fears the worst after 2 yellows have been handed out. What is his fate? He was involved in an incident earlier on where it could have been black, and it's a yellow.
Yeah, I think they're very lucky. John Small, I think, is very lucky in that case that he didn't get a black card as a consequence of the incident with Cillian O'Connor. And I think the fact that the referee was distracted by that second incident maybe worked to the favour of Dermot Connolly and Donald Vaughan.
So yellow cards, 3 there, dished out in the last few moments. And we've had Dermot Connolly, we've had Donny Vaughan and John Small.
And in all fairness, the game hasn't been cynical. There has been a lot of crusty incidents and crusty tackles, but nonetheless it has been...
Not sure he's been in alongside, but he's got blood streaming down from the side of his face there. That was Tom Parsons having to go in to get that tidied up. Barry Moran has come on as a blood substitute. We're very, very deep into stoppage time at this stage. We're way over time, as you can see. We've played 8 minutes and we're into the 9th. shades of what happened the last time.
Yes, and I noticed Donny Vaughan and Diarmuid Connolly down in the Dublin goal bar at the moment at one another again.
Now, what about this? The goalkeeper, who was chosen ahead of David Clarke, has come up to kick this free. It may be one of the reasons why they considered him a stronger option today, but he's got to make it, and he's a huge distance out. He's 60 metres, maybe 65 metres out because of the angle. Can he put this one over and put the teams level? It's going to drop short. It drops well short, and the referee has blown his whistle at the end of a first half, which has given us much to talk about. The teams were level here on 3 occasions, but in the end, some good points by Dublin, some indiscipline by Mayo, and a great goal, of course, by Lee Keegan, coming after 18 minutes, a vital score for Mayo midway through this first half. We've seen 2 black cards issued as well, and at half-time here in the 2016 All-Ireland Football Final replay, it's Dublin who are shading. It's Dublin 10 points, Mayo 1 goal. Thank you, Michael. I've just spotted a change. The last man to come out of the dressing room was Conor O'Shea, the younger of the O'Sheas, the 23-year-old, and I'm just looking to see who he has replaced. Any ideas, Martin?
No, just looking around at the moment. Do I see his brother Aidan is out around the middle of the field? I don't actually see who it is at the moment.
We'll continue, we'll find out. Second half gets underway, and it's Dublin who are ahead by a point, and it's Tom Parsons once again who makes the initial thrust forward here. He was being held back. It's going to be a free kick. But 23 is in. He's the guy who got that great goal against Tipperary, of course, that settled the affair in the end of the semi-final. A change made by Stephen Rochford.
Yes, I think he's in for Donald Vaughan. Remember, Donald got a belt towards the end of the half, probably got concussion. That's who he's in for.
He's a big loss, Donald Vaughan. And Diarmuid O'Connor trying to go forward here, wrapped around in the end by a combination of Dublin backs. It results in a free in, and it's an opportunity for Mayo to level up the game right at the very start of this second half. Remember the real impact they made on the game in the opening 10 minutes of the second half last time, when we were expecting a big, huge show from Dublin. The third quarter, the so-called moving quarter.
And speaking of big shows, Stephen Cohen has been giving a very interesting assignment for the second half. He's been asked to mark Diarmuid Connolly, captain of the under-21 All-Ireland winning team this year. That's a big step up for him.
Well, it's like for like. Keegan got off because of the black card, Cohen on. Right now it's Cillian O'Connor, 4 pointed frees in the first half. Nothing else in terms of scores from him, but if he can keep putting over these, the Mayo fans in the crowd of over 82,000 will be very, very happy indeed. Good start to the second half, and the teams are now level for the 4th time. It's certainly a gripping All-Ireland final once again, as we anticipated. That kick out is wrestled under control there by Tom Parsons from Brian Fenton. Not easy to do, and Mayo can attack again, and do so with Diarmuid O'Connor throwing the shoulder. Billy McMahon goes after him, can't get him. That's a great score. Mayo lead. Early stages of the second half. Diarmuid O'Connor firmly announces his presence here in this final, and this is the first score he's got in the 2 matches we've had against Dublin, and that's a very, very good score. It's Dublin 10 points, it's Mayo 1-8. From the kick out again, Mayo won the last one. This time there's a foul by Seamie O'Shea, and it results in a free kick which Brian Fenton's preparing to take. Into space here, McMenamin goes racing for it, tries to lose his man, who is Brendan Harrison this time, and the referee saw a push, and Kevin McMenamin was playing away very brightly and cheerfully.
Yes, Joe, go back for a moment at that score by Diarmuid O'Connor. It all started by a wonderful fetch by Tom Parsons over Brian Fenton.
This time it's kicked away. Again, the referee saw a little tug, and he's indicting one of the Mayo backs. I think it was Diarmuid O'Connor. It is going to be a free kick for Dublin, and they look to try and get their first score of the second half and keep them very much in the groove and moving towards another All-Ireland final title. They're seeking their 26th title this afternoon. Surely Diarmuid O'Connor wasn't the necessary 13 metres back when that was being kicked by Diarmuid Connolly, and the referee Maurice Deegan can move the ball in now and make it an easier kick.
Yes, he's far too close within the 13 metres that's required. But actually the frequency of fouling is becoming a little bit of a blight. You know, wonderful first 20 minutes or so, a lot of negativity and cynicism started to kind of unfortunately infiltrate into the game. just hope to see it opening up in the way it was early on, but I'm afraid it's wishful thinking, Ger.
Well, that's rather innocent, I'm afraid. There's an All-Ireland final at stake, and these players mean to be winners. They mean to be champions. And Dean Rock has so far kicked 8 points, and this one makes it 9. Unerring with frees, and they're not all that terribly easy from different angles, but he's now really into his stride here and feeling confident about himself. And Dublin once again level, 11 points to Mayo's 1-8. This one by Paddy Andrews hasn't shown very prominently so far. Plays that one out to another man who has yet to really make an imprint in this game, Paul Mannion. Mannion throws the shoulder, goes by Colin Boyle in at the end line, looking to try and play it back now to a support player. Gets that support from Kieran Kilkenny. Back in as far as Paul Flynn. Again, it is Andrews trying to take on Paddy Durkin, unable to succeed in that. So back by Mannion again it comes. And Dublin have to bring it all the way back outside the 45-metre line and go a second time. Kilkenny. McManaman back as far as Paul Flynn. He'd love to score. Blocked down this time. Really good block by Shemi O'Shea. But runs loose as far as Dean Rock. Rock looking up, seeing McManaman again. Taking it past the other number 11, Aidan O'Shea. Back out as far as Paul Flynn. He's got to drop into Henley's hands. He's nervous. He's lost it. And the referee's blown his whistle. And I think it's going to be a penalty. Oh, calamity for the goalkeeper, Robbie Henley. He fumbled it, he's nervous, and he's made a really big blunder here, and he's gifted Dublin a penalty chance and a chance to get a goal and a chance to go 3 points up.
Well, that's an absolute calamity for Robbie Henley and for Mayo, and I wouldn't be surprised if a black card comes along with that, just to compound everything. That time a simple enough ball, routine ball to collect, made a mess of it, gives away the penalty. Probably now we'll get the black card.
Well, what a day for Robbie Henley. A real nightmare for him. Throws his gloves away, concedes a penalty. David Clarke, who was left out by the management team led by Stephen Rochford, is now going to come in, and the first thing he's going to have to do is face up to a Dublin penalty, which will probably be taken by Diarmuid Connolly. Well, now if you're in David Clarke's feet, what are you thinking? The crowd, the Mayo fans have travelled in enormous numbers, willing him on. There's still nearly half an hour of this game to be played. He's got to come in and try and stop a penalty. It'll be Connolly who will take it. Scorer of 11 goals already in his career. On comes Clarke.
Well, certainly Mayo at this stage will have to draw on all their character and their defiant spirit to actually overcome those errors. Good second half start again, great scores from Cillian O'Connor and in particular from Diarmuid O'Connor, but this giveaway of the penalty, this puts the ball back in Dublin's court.
Well, they gave Dublin a 4-point start. It's like the 2 goals they gave them last time from OGs, and now they've given them a penalty, and it's Connolly. It's in the 42nd minute against Clarke, and he scores. Brilliantly dispatched. Defiant Dublin fans, that's how to take a penalty, cool as you like, away to the goalkeeper's left as we look at it, right into the corner. Clarke made a good attempt to try and get it, but the pace of the ball just carried it in, and it's now 1-11 to 1-8.
That's as good a penalty as I've seen, considering the circumstances, the pressure he was under, the delay in taking it, but that was pure textbook, beautiful score.
So once again, Mayo have to try and climb up that mountain. They had to do it the last time. They have to do it again here, as Diarmuid O'Connor, having scored a little while ago, goes through, changed his direction. Philly McMahon came across him. There was contact, and in the end, it was the foul there that was committed by Diarmuid Connolly. Free in.
Diarmuid Connolly that time gave away the free. Luckily enough, like for a guy who's on a yellow card at the moment, he has to be very, very careful about his tackling. That time he came in from behind, gave away, it's very, very soft free to Mayo. But as I said to you, for a guy who is carrying a yellow and who's been in danger on 1 or 2 occasions from incurring a black, he just needs to ease off.
Well, this is Stephen Rochford, and he can only contemplate about the change that they made. Best intentions of all of that, but it just didn't work out because Robbie Henley, quite honestly, didn't have enough match practice of late at this high standard, and leaving him on and David Clarke off simply backfired, and Mayo are once again having to try and do it against all the odds, but they are 111 to 1-8 down, and they can make it a 2-point game here, and there is loads of time left.
Yeah, when you think about it, Robbie Henley hadn't started the game since the Galway game, which is on June the 18th, hadn't got the match practice, coming into a cauldron like this, probably needed to be sharpened up somewhat, had too many errors today. His confidence was shot by the time that high ball came in on him.
They've got to blank out that out of their heads at this stage. Still over 25 minutes to play. Cillian O'Connor has been assured so far, and he remains very, very accurate, and he's got a sixth. 111 to 1-9. 2 black cards for Mayo, 1 black card for Dublin. Kick out to be taken by Stephen Cluxton. Goes long, very long, into the hands of Paul Flynn, like old times. Gives it off to Cian O'Sullivan. O'Sullivan racing forward, hits the pass rather hurriedly. Then the challenges come in. Mannion attacks that one, gets it. Then it's Andrews coming in after him, challenged by Paddy Durkin. Breaks loose here to Diarmuid O'Connor, and Diarmuid O'Connor down under the weight of that challenge. Fouled, free kick deep inside his own 45-metre line. Here it is again here as O'Connor was coming down, and there was Mannion coming in, and Boyle didn't like it one little bit. Away comes Kevin McLaughlin, racing forward here. Mayo 2 down, lots of time left. Here's Seamie O'Shea, confronted by Paul Flynn. Tries to get away from him, slips it forward here, intended there for Stephen Cohen, lost however, and Kieran Kilkenny, very mobile, always involved, gives it to Philly McMahon. McMahon across here to John Small. It's Diarmuid Connolly, the penalty goal scorer after 42 minutes, taking on Aidan O'Shea, slipping it forward towards an attacker who was meant to get to that, but it's Tom Parsons who got there ahead of Kevin McMenamin.
Yes, I think what happened this time, Aidan O'Shea pulled back Connolly, just kind of hooked his arm. Referee deemed it a free.
Bernard Brogan is about to be introduced by Dublin, I understand, and that will give the Dubs a big boost, you can be sure, after the referee has sorted out this little contretemps. Play continues, referee has noted what's going on behind him and allows play to continue. It's with Conor O'Shea. A goal and a point against Tipperary. In here to older brother Aidan. Here's Tom Parsons, held onto by Seamie O'Shea. Oh, that was a clumsy challenge by Paul Flynn, and he could be in some difficulty as well.
It's a neck-high challenge, that's a definite booking.
And it's a yellow card for Flynn. Too many cards being issued at this stage, the referee not having any alternative. It's the way in which the game is panning out. So Bernard Brogan comes on, and the player is going off is Paddy Andrews.
Yeah, Andrews hadn't got much of an impact today. Brogan now will come in and hope to put the poor game he has had the last day behind him. Been taken up immediately by Brandon Harrison in the corner,
who did a super job on him. Now it's Colin Boyle. Tom Parsons now. Just 2 points separating the teams. Mayo coming attacking again, but at pace, and they lose it to James McCarthy. And Dublin have an opportunity now just to control the tempo of this next attack. Carried on here by Paul Mannion, showing a little too much of it there to Diarmuid O'Connor. Greatly energized, I think, since he scored his point in this second half. O'Connor down there requiring some attention, the stricken Dublin player.
Well, that's one of the things you'll always get from Diarmuid O'Connor's effort. That time went hard for the ball, gave away the free. But just O'Connor is one of the guys this year. I saw him quite a bit at under 21. He more or less carried Mayo to winning an under 21 All-Ireland title. I think he has maybe been overplayed somewhat. But today, since that point, as you said, Gerard, he has regained a lot of the oomph that he had earlier, and he's getting his usual quota of work into his game.
I think Jim Gavin just a little bit concerned, as they all are, about Paul Mannion. Got a knock that time. I think it was quite accidental by Diarmuid O'Connor when they were both challenging for the loose ball. Well, he's back on his feet once again, and the medical personnel have done their job. A wonderful young talent, Paul Mannion, not involved in the championship last year. It was the outstretched hand there of O'Connor that collided with Mannion's face. He's okay, and the free has been taken, or rather a line ball taken by Kieran Kilkenny. He's got it back again, and John Small's able to carry it forward here now. Inject a little bit of pace into this, pursued by Seamie O'Shea, runs on as far as Diarmuid Connolly. Connolly trying to free himself from the attentions of several Mayo players. That's not easy, and Dublin looks strong, and they challenge once again, and it's a lovely ball in here. Kevin McMenamin down with the goalkeeper. David Clark in the thick of all of that wins that one. That'll do his confidence a lot of good. First ball that he really had to compete for, and the goalkeeper won it. And right now it's Mayo who need to compete for everything that's going in a very, very tight All-Ireland final, trying to minimise the errors. Keith Higgins.
And Mayo just have two forwards up at the moment, Conor O'Shea and Andy Moran in the full forward line. Most of the other players are trying to get behind the ball.
Out once again towards Kevin McLaughlin, darting inside, moving forward with some purpose. Laid off here towards Cillian O'Connor. The team captain, Aidan O'Shea, runs into a tackle from James McCarthy. Cillian O'Connor has it back again. Back outside towards his brother. Diarmuid O'Connor trying to get inside three Dublin defenders, not easy. Having to try and lay it off quickly if they can retain possession. And it's Cillian O'Connor who got in, beat the Dublin man to it. And then it's lost. And it's Mick Fitzsimons rather, who has been superb. Right at the back there, winning duel after duel. Back as far as Stephen Cloxton. Challenged there by McLaughlin. Almost lost his way, and Cloxton not one bit happy with it. The referee says play on, gave an advantage. He
was lucky enough to get away with that in one respect. He had nobody outside to give the ball to.
That's a long pass which John Small tries to make his, but loses it to Seamie O'Shea. O'Shea going forward here. Connolly trying to stop him. So too Kevin McManaman. In the end, a combination of bodies tying up the Mayo man. Free kick.
Seamie O'Shea has been absolutely wonderful for Mayo today in that destructive role in the half-back line, stopping attacks, getting his body into position.
Here's Durkin inside towards Jason Doherty, but again it breaks loose, and Philly McMahon is able to win it, get the ball out, but a wayward kick comes here towards Diarmuid O'Connor. Foul, the referee says play on. They do, down towards Andy Moran. Moran against James McCarthy. His team, a couple of points down, and that ball has been kicked poorly by Moran, and he knows it. And that's their first wide of the second half, their fourth in all, and it stays 1-11 to 1-9. We're 15 and a half minutes into the second half. That's a great kick all the way down to the totally unmarked Kevin McManaman. He's got a support player in Connolly to his right if he wants to use it. Couldn't quite get that ball over initially. Cohen was there, but McManaman has it again, still going forward, and again there's a concern among the Dublin fans and among the Mayo supporters as well about a possible penalty there, but immediately the referee waved his hands and said no spot kick. And away it goes once again, down here towards the substitute, Conor O'Shea, taking on John Small, lays it off as far as Jason Doherty. Into the corner goes Andy Moran. Where he goes, Mick Fitzsimons goes as well. The last ball there doesn't really matter because there was a push, and the referee is going to give a free. But this is that intervention a moment ago there by young Stephen Cohen, and then this here, the challenge again by Brendan Harrison, and the referee had a great good look at it and said no penalty.
Yeah, great defending by Brendan Harrison to get back that time. Good defending, but just going back to the far end of the pitch, some wonderful tackling by both defences. Great interceptions in the Dublin side of the pitch.
Michael Dara McCauley being prepared to come in to play in his 41st championship match.
Yeah, and just one thing we ought to recognise today and comment on are the kickouts from Stephen Cluxton. Most Mayo players are, anticipating short ones from him. He has fooled them on a couple of occasions today with very well directed long kicks.
Paul Mannion off, Michael Dara McCauley on. Dublin controlling the tempo of this next attack from deep inside their own half as Philly McMahon, with a leisurely stroll forward, gets it as far as Davy Byrne. Now they will move it forward with a little bit more pace. James McCarthy, challenged here by Diarmuid O'Connor, easily gets past that challenge, rather half-hearted. O'Connor goes again, and in the end that's an important challenge because they managed to win it back, and Cohen was the one who got it initially, and then it's Conor O'Shea, the two substitutes combining. Three subs used by Mayo in this match. The other, of course, David Clark, who's also come on, the goalkeeper. That's run out of play. Line ball will be to Mayo.
A wonderful example again of some of the Mayo tackling that time going through, like James McCarthy ought to have given the ball that moment earlier when he had the overlap coming off his shoulder, but if you delayed your pass you're going to get punished.
Jim Gavin must be a bit concerned. It's some 8 minutes now since Dublin last scored. It was the penalty, and that is a beauty. Kevin McLaughlin, his first point from a tight angle, and he's made it 1-11 to 1-10. Jinked inside Davy Byrne, and a wonderful shot.
He's such a good footballer, such a versatile footballer. He's played sweeper mainly, has to get forward a little bit more if he can, but very accurate of his left foot whenever the opportunity arises.
So something like 11 or 12 minutes now since Dublin last managed to score, and that penalty converted by Diarmuid Connolly after 42 minutes. Well, here's the first touch now for Michael Dara-McCauley. Able to bring in McCauley and able to bring in Bernard Brogan. Wonderful players to be able to bring off the bench. Will they make the big difference in the end? Back once again towards Michael Dara-McCauley from Philly McMahon, trying to go in here past Tom Parsons. Slipping it inside towards Bernard Brogan. Here's a chance. He doesn't need the second invitation. Bernard Brogan comes on, scores, they're happy, and now it's a 2-point game once more, 112 to 110. Bernard Brogan announces his arrival.
What a contribution by the two substitutes that time. Michael Dara-McCauley, very forceful run, penetrating run, timing of a pass exceptional. Brogan makes up for a lot of the misses he had the last day, and for the quiet game he had the last day, by introducing his arrival with an excellent point.
Substitution here for Mayo, one more and for another. It's Andy gone, it's Barry in.
So you can expect an aerial bombardment of Barry Moran goes in there, loves a high ball coming in. Maybe he's not comfortable playing at full forward, but you can expect a lot more ball is directed long from midfield now that he is there.
Well, they simply have to, Martin, because they got two giants inside there. They got Aidan O'Shea and now they've got Barry Moran, and there's not much point in having them in there 20 metres out from the Dublin goal unless the ball is bombarded in there. It's a kick out here which works, and Colin Boyle is picked out perfectly by David Clark. The referee says play on. There was a foul by Bernard Brogan. The referee allowed an advantage. The very industrious Conor O'Shea winning this one. Two between them. 20 minutes into the second half, 15 remaining. Diarmuid O'Connor back here once again towards O'Shea, towards the other O'Shea, Seamus O'Shea. Holding on to it, challenge is about to come in. Cian O'Sullivan, one of them, and he skips away from Cian O'Sullivan and then boots it in there towards the two-man inside forward line. Three Dublin backs. They play it back to Paddy Durkin, who's already scored in the first half. Little muddle there with that particular build-up in that attack. So he has to go and kick it from a fair old distance. What about that? What about that for a point by Paddy Durkin? Two for Durkin, one in each half. It's a one-point game in the All-Ireland replay. It's 112 to 111.
Well, for the club of the team to do something like that, to show on the responsibility of a veteran, that is a wonderful score for Patrick Durkin.
Cormac Costello is the one who's going to come in now, next in place of Kevin McManaman.
Kevin McManaman has had a few very good interventions during the game, but at the moment maybe just fresh legs could make a difference for Dublin. And with the introduction of Cormac Costello, a lot more variation to his game than McManaman might have.
Who's got the stronger bench? Who's got the stronger finish? Michael Dara-McCauley carrying it on here now, about to be challenged by Parsons, but managed to get the ball in quickly before the challenge arrives. It's Diarmuid Connolly taking on young Stephen Cohen, only 20 years of age. Back it goes once again to John Small. Held on to here by Michael Dara-McCauley, back into Flynn again, in along the corner here, dangerous situation, and in the end comes to naught. Closed out, good defending there as John Small was presenting a real threat.
It's not the first time I've said it today about Seamus O'Shea. That time he was the one who tracked back John Small coming forward. He was blamed a little bit the last day out when Brian Fenton got through, uncontested. That time, great anticipation from Seamus O'Shea.
Again, the goalkeeper picks out a loose player who came to collect and gather that one. Tom Parsons this time. Then he can fling it out to the other side towards Keith Higgins. Higgins having a look at just who's making the break for him. It is Conor O'Shea running into two tackles. The referee says wrapped around. Dublin unhappy, felt it was disciplined. On as far as Kevin McLaughlin holds on to it, gets by Davy Byrne, then he goes forward. Then came the challenge of James McCarthy, and the referee says play on. There was a fair challenge there. Mayo and Dublin do, and in the end it's Mick Fitzsimons who comes out, plays it away, out as far as Brian Fenton, gives it out as far as Kilkenny. Kieran Kilkenny has support players near him, one of them Michael Dara-McCauley, and then further forward towards Cormac Costello. He's only just on, he's got great pace. Can he finish here? Looks good, it's over the bar. The sub has done it. Cormac Costello comes on, scores within about 2 minutes of his arrival onto the park in Croke Park, and it's now 113 to 111. 12 minutes remaining. This was earlier on. Was there a push in the back there? Certainly Mayo felt there was.
What a counter-attack though from Dublin. Great use of the hand, great hand passing, great speed of transition. Fabulous score from Dublin.
Doherty back as far as Aidan O'Shea. Mayo need a score quickly. Can O'Shea provide it? Not this time. Hasn't scored in the match. It stays at 113 to 111. As you can see, we're in the 59th minute. Quick kick out, all of them accurate, all of them well dispatched, and Dublin taking care of their possession, using every forward opportunity that they have now. Kieran Kilkenny, Colin Boyle, the defender nearest to him. Again to Costello, has just scored, must be feeling confident. Oh, good deception. Oh, what a great shot. He was helped out by one of his colleagues taking two backs with him, and Costello has had 2 shots and 2 points. Is this the vital time when Dublin are going to make their critical break in this final? They make it 111 to 114.
Yes, I don't think Mayo have got sorted out at the moment who is going to take up Cormac Costello. A little bit of disorganisation in their backline. Alan Dillon is coming in now to give a little bit of experience in the Mayo attack, and Jason Doherty's been withdrawn. But from a defensive point of view, I think it is actually Colin Boyle who now is taking the responsibility of marking Cormac Costello.
Well, it's down to about the last 10 minutes in the second game, and on comes another Dubliner, Eric Lowndes. Didn't play in the last match. He plays in place of John Small. So now, who's got the big finish? As Small goes off, can Dublin hold on and win back-to-back titles? Worried Mayo fans certainly here. Stephen Rochford made that interesting call before the match to change his goalkeeper. They got into difficulty. They've been playing catch-up for an awful lot of this game, but Conor O'Shea and company still have an opportunity. Only 3 points in it. Laid off here towards Alan Dillon. Hits it in, big huge one in, Cluxton fists it out, taken back by Aidan O'Shea, down he goes, referee has a look at it, still he's challenged, referee still looking at it, O'Shea comes out with it, gives it off, Dublin and Mick Fitzsimon's trying to get it, and Mick Fitzsimon gets it, out to Costello, out to Diarmuid Connolly, and Dublin breathe a collective sigh of relief. Connolly has it. Good expansive play, across to Kieran Kilkenny, on his shoulder he's got James McCarthy. Ahead of him, Bernard Brogan sauntering forward here. McCarthy takes it up. Dean Rock comes back out for it. Only 1 pointed free in the second half for him, but he did so much damage to Mayo in the opening 35. Michael Dara McCauley jinking in this way. It's Bernard Brogan. What a block! Brilliantly done that time. That's Brendan Harrison who blocked that one out. And there's a free kick. A foul on Diarmuid O'Connor.
Diarmuid O'Connor all over the pitch at the moment. Wonderful piece of defending that time. Wonderful piece of defending also by Brendan Harrison. And we're again on a great counter-attack from Mayo.
They come forward. Now can they finish off this attack with Tom Parsons going forward? Challenge there by Kilkenny. Down went Parsons, edge of the 20-metre line. Free in, no question about that. So a chance to make it a 2-point game once again, and a very dangerous lead, as we all know, only too terribly well.
One of the things that surprised me so much here is the fact that we haven't had the long ball in yet to Aidan O'Shea and to Barry Moore. That time Aidan O'Shea finds it very difficult sometimes to get a free. I thought he was fouled momentarily just before he went into the large square there. May have got a free in.
Well, the referees had calls to make. It's Kieran Kilkenny who's got the yellow card there. The referee made calls in the last 10 minutes in both squares and decided there were no penalties. There was a call earlier on which he had to make at the other end, and this time down here, all eyes now on Cillian O'Connor to finish this one, to get his 7th point of this All-Ireland final. They've all been from frees.
They've all been from frees, but he's been unerringly accurate that time as Parsons was coming through, well and truly found by Kieran Kilkenny. And remember, Kieran Kilkenny is on a yellow card.
The kick out is long, it's brilliantly done again into the hands of Michael Dara McCauley. What a contrast between the two goalkeepers kicking that ball out so accurately, and Dublin can immediately go into the offensive, and there's no hanging around when they're in that kind of irresistible mood. It's Bernard Brogan, back once more it comes through Brian Fenton. Back it comes again to Eric Lowndes, his first touch. gets it as far as the recently yellow-carded Kieran Kilkenny, and the referee blows his whistle, gives the free to Dublin.
Some of Aidan O'Shea's tackling has been absolutely superb today. That time flicked the ball away expertly, but unfortunately following up that, there's a free, and a simple enough free for Dublin. And Mayo at times today have been guilty of giving away frees that were very, very much preventable.
Well, it's very much advantage Dublin at this stage in the game, and they go short this time. Brian Fenton holds on to it. Dean Rock fisting it in here as an opportunity for McEldarragh Macaulay to pick out a colleague, looking for Diarmuid Connolly. It's a poor pass straight to Parsons, then to McLaughlin, and now the counter-offensive can involve Colin Boyle and the rest of them. They need to make the next attack count. As you can see, nearly 64 minutes in, 6 to go. Paddy Durkin, his team, 2 points behind. That high ball in, breaks back towards Cillian O'Connor, supported here. And that support play involving Alan Dillon, surrounded by the Dublin swarm, and the referee in the end, I think, is going to throw the ball up because it wasn't coming out cleanly.
That's very aptly described, calling it a swarm, because Dublin defence very quick to gather in on the ball carrier that time, and cannot make it up to his mind as to where the advantage lay or didn't lie, so throws the ball up between two of them.
At 114 to 112. Two big tall men, two men down on the sideline as well there, Stephen Rochford and Sean Carey. And this in the end results in a foul and another free, and a free to Mayo.
Well, I think what happened here, actually a third man came in to actually contest the ball. It is a throw up between two men. An extra Dublin player came into it, and as a consequence the free is given away.
So for the technical violation, it's Cillian O'Connor once again to try and put this one over the bar. Last year, you may remember, in a drawn semi-final, they were some 7 points down with 9 minutes to go. They were 3 points down, you may remember, close to the end of the 70, just 2 weeks ago. And now they'll be just one behind if this goes over. From a central enough position, a confident kick and a confident kicker. He's got 8.
Well, he's a guy, he's captain of the team, he shows fantastic leadership. All through the game, he has been responsible for keeping his calm, keeping his poise, and nailing those opportunities when they have come.
Now, who do you think is going to win the All-Ireland? 5 minutes to go. You never know. We have some 7, 8, 9 minutes of stoppage time the last time. Mayo win it. Seamie O'Shea goes forward. He was pulled back by Brian Fenton. He looks at the official. He says that was pretty deliberate, wasn't it? Shake of the head there by Seamie, the 29-year-old from Brayfee.
That was deliberate, just pulled back as he went through that time. Seamie O'Shea got forward, you know, from the position that he's been playing in all day, around the half-back line, and driving the players forward, showing wonderful example.
Aidan O'Shea's going to take this to his brother. The O'Sheas combine. Now, how will this finish? Throws the shoulder to try and go by, gives it out to Kevin McLaughlin, who got a beauty earlier on. Well, it's the other O'Shea who's having a go at it, but it's gathered in brilliantly by Stephen Cluxton as Conor O'Shea's effort fell somewhat short. James McCarthy back out here, out towards Eric Lowndes. Should be feeling fresh and ready for the challenge. Here's Davy Byrne, carries it on. Every attack so vital now. Great move forward here by young Davy Byrne. Into the centre here as far as Brian Fenton. 45 metres out from the Mayo goal in the All-Ireland final replay. It's Fenton, still Fenton, slipping as he was going there, losing his way, then having the presence of mind to get it back to Paul Flynn, who kicks it high up into the air and hopes it goes over the bar. And the referee has seen a ball touched on the ground anyway, so it's going to be a free against Dublin. Yeah,
Paul Flynn that time picked the ball up the ground. Ball had it been given by Fenton that time going forward. There was a split second when a goal was on, but correctly the referee called it that time. A pick up from Flynn gives Mayo the opportunity to counteract once more.
A 1-point All-Ireland final heading towards its conclusion in the 68th minute. Higgins down here as far as McLaughlin from Mayo, who haven't tasted success for over 6.5 decades in the All-Ireland Championship. Dublin looking for back-to-back successes. Aidan O'Shea. Out there against him is Davy Byrne. Plays it back once again towards Tom Parsons. McLaughlin, they're being measured in their approach, Mayo. Dublin have a lot of bodies back. McLaughlin kicks it against Fitzsimons, who's been superb, I think, back there all day long. Got the call to come in and start the match in place of Davy Byrne. Davy's been in since Johnny Cooper was black-carded. Mayo go once again. Colin Boyle once more. Fisting it in here as far as Cillian O'Connor. Keeps it going. Boyle again. Scored against Tipperary. Great point that day. Goes down. The referee very close to the action. Sees no foul. Says play on. They do. And it comes back out as far as Diarmuid Connolly for Dublin. Fisting it forward here towards Paul Flynn. Tries to play it back to the safe hands of Davy Byrne. We're in the 69th minute. Dublin by the minimum. On they go again. Brian Fenton. Swept out here as far as Cormac Costello. Got those two marvellous points immediately after coming on. Taking on Seamie O'Shea. The next score is going to be critical, I think, in this match now. Kieran Kilkenny. Again, back it goes, all the way back towards the midfielder who came on, Michael Dara-McCauley. Booting it across to James McCarthy. They're taking their time about it. They're frustrating Mayo. They're trying to work their way in for the perfect shot and the perfect score, and that's not it. It was by James McCarthy. It's still a one-point game. We're in the 70th minute.
Yeah, they look to have done everything right that time in their terms of their approach. But McCarthy that time got the ball on his weaker foot and attempted from an easy enough angle. That's a bad miss.
Durkin to Parsons. On to Colin Boyle. We're waiting to see how much time will be added on. We should know that pretty soon. There's a push some people in Mayo felt, but the referee didn't agree. And it's Mick Fitzsimons again, back there. Always so very much in control, helped out by Davy Byrne. There's going to be 6 minutes of added time. There's work to do for Dublin still to hold on to their one-point lead. And there's encouragement for Mayo that there may be still enough time to win the All-Ireland final. Can they do it? Can Mayo or Dublin, whichever one of them, resolve it in normal time and prevent it going to extra time? Once again, it's carried forward here and slowed down just for a moment by Eric Lowndes. Held on to by Brian Fenton. Back out as far as Bernard Brogan. Brogan again cutting inside with Michael Dara-McCauley, suddenly finding himself in the clear, throwing the shoulder, running into challenges, too many challenges, but it spills loose outside here. Once again it's Costello, and he was falling down as he was kicking that one. He's put it over the bar. Brilliantly done by Cormac Costello. Superb play there.
He's made a wonderful impact altogether. Got a lovely enough break that time. Ball kind of fly kick over to him by, I think it was McCauley. But got his third point, I think, since he's come in.
And a change is going to be made by Dublin, first of all. And the number 21, Darren Daly, comes on. And the player going off is going to be Cian O'Sullivan.
Yeah, that's a surprise move in a way. Like Cian O'Sullivan has been the anchor of the defence up to now, and in every game, in fact, that Dublin have played, and you would have think that this experience was very important over the last 4 or 5 minutes or so. Well,
Mayo will be thinking they've done it before in adversity. Can they do it again? Dublin know all about that and will want to just hang on at this stage and make their attacks count. And when that sloppy pass goes astray, they're able to seize on it immediately and begin the next attack. And Brian Fenton orchestrating everything from the middle of the park, gives it out as far as Dean Rock. Dublin, are they on their way to retaining the crown they won last year? Another score might well seal it for them. As it is, they're looking pretty good, and we've played 2 minutes of the 6 minutes of added time. Diarmuid Connolly goes forward, then changes his mind and decides, let's play safe, give it back as far as James McCarthy. Is it to be another frustrating day in the final for Mayo? James McCarthy forward again towards Cormac Costello. What a match, what a substitution he has been. Drops short this time, out comes David Clarke, did enough to get a hand on that, gave it into another substitute, Chris Barrett, who's just come in the last couple of minutes, and a goal will still win it for Mayo, and the fans will be clinging to that hope. There's still time. As you can see, we've still got 3 minutes of added time still to play. Paddy Durkin looks up, gives it as far as Diarmuid O'Connor, then back as far as Tom Parsons. They got to make a move on, and they got to make this attack count. Inside towards Conor O'Shea. 2 against 3, not counting the goalkeeper. Down went one of the attackers in there, and that was Barry Moran, and the referee says he was pushed. Free in, chance to make it a 1-point game.
Yeah, Barry Moran, 50-50 ball coming in that time. He gets the free in. Probably Dublin will feel aggrieved that was a soft enough free to have conceded, but it gives Cillian O'Connor an opportunity once more to put the ball over the bar. And Dublin, it must be said, have gone very negative, very, very much into the possession-keeping game over the last couple of moments, Ger.
9 for him, but they've been conceding at the other end, and in particular giving away scores. 3 in the second half to substitute Cormac Costello, who's been immense. The fans for Mayo have been immense all through the years, willing their team and their manager on to success. 2 minutes to go of the added time. Dublin just need to be careful, and they need to be disciplined, and they need to just remain composed.
I just think they're being too careful at the moment. They got too much into negative mode, into defensive mode. If they had attacked a little bit more on a couple of occasions there, I think they might have got a score or 2 more, but they're inviting Mayo onto them.
And Mayo retreat, and Michael Darragh-Macaulay comes on, and there's a gap, and they play it beautifully forward, and it's Fitzsimons. Had a chance to score himself. Bernard Brogan partly blocked. It comes out to Keith Higgins. Jersey pulled. Referee says play on. Higgins looks to give it back to the security of David Clark, his goalkeeper. And now as far as Aidan O'Shea, look at the clock. We're in the 75th minute. There's about 90 seconds to play. It's 1:15 to 1:14 in the All-Ireland final replay. Coming to you live from Croke Park in Dublin. Back out as far as Paddy Durkin. Durkin holds on to a challenge. Mayo looking for a scoring opportunity. The referee has given an advantage. Now he's blown his whistle because there was no advantage. And for tugging, he's given the free in to Mayo. It's a difficult one for Cillian O'Connor. It's a fair old distance out. You know, it's 35 to 40 metres out, kicking in towards the hill to try and level the game and to try and maybe take it to extra time.
Well, if there's any one player on the field I would give a ball to in the last moment to fight to get the equalising score, it is to Cillian O'Connor. I give it. This is it from his right side, but by God, the pressure on him is simply immense.
They gave away 2 OGs last week. They've given away 4 points of a start and a penalty needlessly this time. They keep on coming back. This is high, but it's going left, and it's gone wide, and it's the cheering you're hearing up on Hill 16. The voices of the Dublin fans with 15 seconds remaining of the 6 minutes of added time, and it's looking like Dublin as Stephen Cluxton kicks this one out. 1:15 to 1:14. The catch important, taken here by Kilkenny, back into Michael Darragh-Macaulay, back again. All eyes on the referee now, waiting for that whistle to come. It's got to be a free into Dublin. They'll take their time over this one because we have now exceeded the 6 minutes, and Jim Gavin down there looking calm. You'd swear it's their first All-Ireland victory, if it's to be that. Cillian O'Connor hoping that time will be added on. The Hill waiting to celebrate. Boy, will they have some celebration in Dublin tonight if it remains thus. Dublin 1:15. Mayo 1:14, poised to win their 26th All-Ireland Championship.
Well, it's been an absolute cliffhanger from beginning to end. That wonderful start for Dublin, that comeback from Mayo, that composure from Dublin through the second half, but that endless, infinite spirit from Mayo deserve full credit.
Play continues. The referee still allowing a few seconds to go on. We're after playing 7 minutes. We want the ball back now. Mayo need it. Dublin just waiting for his whistle, taking charge of his 3rd All-Ireland final this afternoon. Mayo looking to see if there's one possibility of one more attack. Conor O'Shea carrying it downfield. The Dublin amateur whistlers all around the place encouraging our official referee to blow his whistle. That's a good block. It's all over! It's finally over, and Dublin are once again the All-Ireland champions. It's taken them 2 tremendous games, but they have beaten Mayo and they have retained their title. A truly remarkable achievement for Jim Gavin He has masterminded this victory. Cool as you like, goes across to Stephen Rochford, who'll be bitterly disappointed. They had their chance, but it's Dublin who've done it. They are now unbeaten in 29 matches, as Mayo can only reflect on what might have been. There's Diarmuid O'Connor, I'm sure broken-hearted. The draw 2 weeks ago counts for little now. It's another All-Ireland final loss for Mayo. They've now lost 5 in 12 years. But for Dublin, the victors, it's an evening to savour. This squad, Bernard Brogan there, Diarmuid Connolly, of wonderfully talented individuals. They've taken the criticism of the drawn encounter and they've come back to record back-to-back successes. Just look at Aidan O'Shea here, so disappointed, tears in the eyes. At the end of a memorable All-Ireland final, it's finished thus: Dublin 115, Mayo 114.